to e-luminate. Today's program is about the YMCA Youth Court and Restorative Justice System. My name is Freda Kaplan, and our guests today are Don Carney, who's the director of the Marin YMCA Youth Court and Restorative Justice System, and Julia Schulman, who's a Marin student and a restorative justice activist. Julia, can you start us off by explaining what is restorative justice?
So restorative justice is an alternative to the normal punitive system. It basically allows for a youth who has committed a crime to be able to repair their bond with the community without facing harder consequences such as a permanent record that can affect, their college or their job opportunities until they're 18 years old.
And what's the YMCA Youth Court?
We take a youth who has committed a crime through their school or through the police, and we allow them to talk with a jury of their peers to really understand the deeper root behind the issue that led to this crime. And then we create a plan based off of community service and time spent on that same peer jury to help them repair their bond with the community instead of giving them, again, that record that could affect their jobs and their colleges.
So this is the purpose of the youth court, but do either of you have anything to add to that?
Yes, the youth court movement is a large movement across the country and throughout the state, and it's one of the elements to ending the school-to-prison pipeline. So the more we keep kids out of juvenile justice, the more likely they are not to enter the adult system. If a kid enters the juvenile justice system, they're highly likely to enter the adult system.
So what are some examples of restorative justice, Julia?
So I've been serving on this jury for about 6 years now, and I've seen up to 200, 300 cases, whether I've served on it or not. And what I've seen is a lot of, your average case will be a student who comes in after smoking marijuana. That's a huge one. We see it all the time. And what we do is we really find out the issue. Are they using it because they feel stressed at school? Or are they using it because they have issues with their friends or at home? And then we see, how can we help them? Should we give them more community service hours because we feel that they could benefit from having another hobby? Or should we have them sit on the peer jury more times because we think they would be a great influence on their peers around them and would be able to be influenced from people who have been through the same tough family situation? So I've seen a lot of these different cases, and each one's unique, but I feel like we're very good at really finding the deeper root behind these issues.
So people that have actually gone through the system then end up helping others that need it, going through it.
We have certain different types of people helping out. We have jury members who sit and ask the questions, and then we have advocates, which I sometimes serve at. And what we do is we talk with the respondent, the person who's been charged with the crime beforehand, and really get the story. And we're almost like the lawyers, but we're both representing them, and we're really helping the jury understand what's going on. So that position takes a little bit more training. We go through drug and alcohol training, the same training that the people who come through the court go through. And we actually have people who have been respondents before serving as advocates. So they've been here for a while as well. They just loved the program and wanted to continue helping others.
These are young people?
Young people, yes.
Very interesting. And what schools in Marin participate in this?
So we have a few schools. I'm sure Don can talk about it a little more than I can.
Don?
Yeah, so we've trained the Novato School District. We were up there for about 3 years, and now they are doing it on their own. We're currently at Davidson Middle School. We've just started at Venetia Valley Middle School. And next year we're going to pick up with San Rafael High and Terra Linda High. So we'll be in the entire school system in the San Rafael district. And we divert suspensions at the school level, but if a young person commits a criminal act while under school supervision, then they're referred to the youth court. We want to draw a distinction between breaking a school rule and breaking the law while under school supervision, so young people understand the distinctions.
Do you have any statistics about the success of these programs?
Yeah, the Marin County Youth Court's been up and running for 15 years now. We've seen 1,150 young people. We've had 95% of them complete the program successfully, and only 8% of them are involved with the police after that within the first year.
That's wonderful. That shows how worthwhile it is. I've heard that the program is expanding. Can you describe that?
Yeah, the San Rafael Police Department used to run their own diversion program, and it was quite a long run. They were up for about 45 years, and they've just decided that they can't afford it any longer, and we're taking on that caseload. So locally, we're growing rapidly. Last year, we heard about 45 cases. This first quarter, we already have 40 cases, and predominantly from the San Rafael community. And we're also expanding statewide. I recently received funding, significant funding, to replicate the program in other areas of California. Our approach to youth court using a restorative trauma-informed model has really caught on, and other communities want to replicate that because it works really well.
So this was innovative. It started here.
The local youth court started here. There are youth courts throughout the United States. Most youth courts exist to give young people the opportunity to be lawyers at the expense of kids who need support. I wasn't very happy with that approach, so I did a deep dive on restorative practices and trauma-informed care, and we changed the character of our youth court to focus on the client, not the young person pretending to be an attorney. And this has caught on across the state.
And what about the rest of the country?
The rest of the country is lagging behind. Generally, youth courts throughout the country are fairly replicable of the adult adversarial system, and the client suffers because of that.
I've heard, though, that there are some restorative justice programs for adults.
Yeah, Marin County is a pathbreaker in that arena. We're the first county in the country to offer restorative responses for adult crimes. The first couple of years, it was post-conviction, where you would put the, let's say somebody burgled somebody's house, and they would have a conversation with the victim and the perpetrator, so the victim could realize they weren't targeted. It was an opportunity crime, had nothing to do with who they were, their race, religion, their ethnicity. And now we're moving to pre-conviction kinds of opportunities. So I have to celebrate the Marin Probation Department and their chief, Mike Daly, the most progressive probation department in the state. And Mike Daly's a big champion of restorative practices.
Very interesting. With the youth, does the victim play in this? Does that person get helped?
Quite often, about 70% of our crimes are substance driven. So therefore, the most immediate victims are the immediate family members who are very frightened about their child's behavior. So we work with the family. Every young person who comes into the youth court, regardless of charge, has to go through 12 hours of drug and alcohol safety skills training. When young people are up to that kind of mischief, they are actually each other's first responders. And quite often they panic and leave a situation. So what we do is we train them how to be effective first responders, so their friend who overdid it one day can survive another day to grow up and thrive.
Wow, that's very important.
Yes, it is.
Wow. This is a wonderful program. Glad to hear that you are spearheading this in the state and that it's going to spread more. Thank you. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll learn more about this amazing program.